Bitch, just a vibe. Late night, yeah, we on a demon time. Fuckin' with me, you might die. You know that we stay hella high. Yeah, up all night, get high, yeah, cause we stay.
Welcome to another episode of Stayup Late Night, a new kind of late night. Tonight, we have a special guest who's not just hitting high notes in the music industry, but is also striking a chord in the community with his political views. Tonight, we will be unraveling the layers of his career, exploring the intersection of melody and ideology. So stay tuned, and let's give it up for Whitley Deputy. What's going on, sir? What an introduction.
That was I don't know. You've been trying to make me feel something.
I can tell you, nobody else got an introduction like that.
Okay,
so,
what?
You know?
Hey, I'll take it. I'll take it.
So how you doing, man? How's everything going?
Man, life just keeps getting better and better, bro.
Yeah,
Just keeps getting better and better.
that's good. That's blessings on top of
I didn't
blessings.
even meet you yet, man. You've been setting up cameras.
I know. I kind of like do a little bit of everything here.
Yeah.
You know, at Stay Up Late Night. But
So,
I'm Keith, by the way.
Keith,
Nice
nice
to meet
to meet you.
Very nice to meet you. Very nice.
I know this. I know this fool. I know this fried chicken eating fool
Yeah,
over here.
And that handsome fella in the back, you know who that is,
Yes,
right? Uh-huh.
yes.
America's top model back
Uh-huh.
there. Got your mic close?
There we go.
Cool. All right, man. So, Mr. Whitley Deputy, tell us a little bit about yourself. Let everybody know.
Well, believe it or not, I don't really like talking about myself. I know that's probably hard for a lot of people to.
I mean,
To
with your
believe,
social media
but-
presence, I don't know.
Yeah, I know. Well, I'm not afraid to speak up for what I believe in.
That's good. That's good.
And stand up for other people that are being done wrong. So, it's weird, me being a musician and I'm out on stage in front of people looking at me and listening to me. I really don't want the attention,
Mhm.
but it's just kind of it's what I do.
It comes with it.
It's
That's correct.
when you play music, it's just there's no way to avoid it. I would rather be living in a cabin next to a creek
I got you.
and just be raising chickens and stuff.
Hell yeah.
What's
Especially
wrong with that?
especially the way the world's been the last few years. That's kind of really what I would like to do, but I feel like I've in some weird way been forced into the spotlight.
Mhm.
And I hate calling it spotlight, but it's kind of what it is, man. It's been a pretty wild ride.
Awesome. So tell us, where are you from? Where were you born?
Oh, I'm from right around the corner, man. Pritchardville.
Okay.
I
Okay.
was raised in Pritchardville, Swan Lake Trailer Park.
Okay. Have you lived here your whole life?
I was born in Savannah. Back then there was no hospital around here.
Hilton Head
wow.
Hospital wasn't there at that point?
No, thank God I wasn't born at Hilton Hospital.
Yeah.
I might not be here to do this
That's
podcast.
true.
I haven't heard too many things about Hilton Head.
Don't go.
Too many good things. Not too
Don't
many.
go. If you break your leg, just put it back together.
Yeah, I hear
Don't.
you. I hear you. So born and raised here. Tell us how you got to where you are now, because I was looking at some things online about you,
Mhm.
and I mean, you have a lot going on from your political standpoint, your views to to your music, your channels, things like that. Like, tell us how all that just kind of came about. Like, where did it all start?
I didn't think about it, but you're right. I do have a lot going on.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't really realize it because I don't put a whole lot of thought into it. But I've always been really interested in the difference between right and wrong. Truth and lies. What's real? What's not real? What's an illusion? What's the truth? And I've always been vocal about it for whatever reason. When things started popping off in like 2016, I started really paying attention to the politics. I used to vote. I voted for I'm just gonna be honest. I think I voted for John McCain. I think I
Mm.
voted for Mitt Romney. And looking back on it now, voting for those guys, I realized how asleep I was.
Mm.
Because up until like 2016, this is my opinion I'm giving. Up until 2016, they were all in the same club. It was like wrestling, They fight each other on TV, but they go backstage, and they're all friends. They're all on the same team.
Yeah.
And I realized that and I started speaking out about it, and I realized that a lot of people that used to be my friends, they stopped being my friends. You
All
know?
over your political views.
Yeah, all over my political views. Mostly my political views, some about religious views, but really the political thing, that it was something that I didn't expect. I didn't expect the
Mhm.
reaction that I got. And a lot of people went from loving me to hating me, and that was at the time it was really hard to deal with. It hurts when you've known somebody for 30 years,
Right.
that somebody that you love, somebody that our families know each other, and our moms and dad, my mom and your parents grew up together, went to the
Mhm.
same high school, and we have this long history, and all of a sudden you hate me and you want to try to destroy me
Just
because
over a difference in
Wow.
opinion.
over
Ideology
over a
online.
presidential
Yeah.
candidate.
Yeah.
It was really wild to see that.
Do you think, in a sense, that's kind of weeding out people, like in a sense, like people that might not share your same ideologies and stuff? It's like I understand the hurt behind like
Yeah.
family friends, but it's like,
Yeah.
man, you really want someone like that in your
Yeah.
corner. I mean, it's okay to disagree with people and stuff, but
Yeah.
to terminate like relationships and friendships over that.
It was so weird, man. you know my hope is that one day we get over all this and
Yeah.
go back to being friends again.
Yeah.
A lot of times you can have a falling out with somebody, and through that falling out you come back, and through forgiveness and love and forgiveness you become better friends than you were before. So I really hope that that's the case with a lot of these people. I don't hold anything against anybody.
Yeah.
Right.
um the last 7-8 years has been a real emotional roller coaster for everybody,
Right.
and a lot of us have gotten heated, and when you get heated you say things, you do things that you wish you could take back. I don't hold it against anybody. I forgive everybody for everything, because I know if I hold unforgiveness towards anybody, it just puts a curse on my life.
Right.
Yeah.
And that ain't the way God wants us to be. He wants us to forgive everybody for everything, because that's just the right way to be, man. I mean, think about it. If everybody started holding grudges against everybody,
Yeah.
It's hard to hold a
Mhm.
grudge too, man. You have to put
Yeah.
a lot of mental effort into
it
Yeah,
it.
is
Very
it,
true.
yeah.
Sometimes it takes more energy to hold the grudge and
Yeah,
just to let
It
it go.
it not sometimes. It always does.
Always.
That's unnecessary weight. Yeah.
Mhm.
I actually counsel a lot of people in forgiveness now. I have a TikTok page that really nobody around here knows about,
Yeah.
but
What's the name? What's the name? Let them know. Let
it's
them know.
it's my name. It's at Whitley Deputy.
Okay. Okay.
It's been really successful. I have like over 140K followers on there now.
Wow,
Oh, yeah.
that's good.
So
That's good.
it's been really good, and people reach out to me. They message me on TikTok with their issues, and one of the gifts that God gave me was to be able to like help people get to the root of their problems, and then we've sorted out, and then I help them find solutions to it.
Right.
And
That's
one
good.
of the big problems that people have come with me is all this anger and bitterness and resentment, and I teach them how to see it properly and let go of all that. And one thing that I found, going back to what you said about sometimes it takes more energy to
Yeah.
hold a grudge, it always takes more energy to hold a grudge.
Definitely.
And people are like, it's so hard to forgive them. I'm like, no, you're looking at it wrong. It's living in unforgiveness. That's what's hard. It makes life so much harder. Forgiveness is easy. You just gotta learn how to look at it properly. Learn that you're wrong for looking at them that way and judging them, because they're dealing with things that you don't even know what they're dealing with. You don't know what kind of pain somebody's holding on to
That's
inside.
true.
You don't know what they've been through. I mean, some of the people that I talk to, dude, it will make you cry, the things that they've been through in their childhood. It will break your heart. And
That's true.
as I'm talking to these people and helping them through it, it's like everything I can do sometimes to just not break down.
Yeah.
So you don't know what somebody's going through, man. People, when they're mean to you and do all these nasty things to you,
Yeah.
Correct.
it's their pain that's doing that. So we
Right.
need to look at people with compassion rather than hold it against them, hold a grudge.
That's true.
Would you say by like having that outlet on like TikTok, has that helped you kind of expand your understanding of forgiveness, and do you like kind of reach new points with that, or you kind of have what you would say like a sturdy foundation.
Um,
I know you've had to forgive some people before. I know
Yeah,
it probably
dude.
hasn't always been easy.
yeah,
Right?
yeah. I've had to forgive a lot of people in my life. It's been crazy, especially since the. Luckily, God guided me to learn about this forgiveness thing before all this stuff happened to me,
Okay.
and that was a real blessing. I was turned on to a guy named Jesse Lee Peterson. He's a conservative talk show host, but I don't agree with everything he says, but one of the things that really helped me was his take on forgiveness.
Yeah.
So I really studied his take on it, and I learned it, and I applied it to my life. I had to forgive my parents for being the way that they were, and I had to forgive, you
Right.
know, some of my exes for doing me dirty.
You have to
And
forgive yourself at the end of the day.
a lot of people have to forgive themselves. I didn't struggle with the guilt and shame aspect
Gotcha.
like a lot of people do. We all have our own
Right,
struggles.
Right.
I didn't struggle with the guilt and shame aspect. So I didn't really have to do that. I didn't have to forgive myself, but I did have to forgive a lot of other people who really did me wrong.
Gotcha.
And s now I take the position, if ever somebody ever makes me feel some type of way about what they did or what they said, whereas I used to would point the finger at them like you were wrong, and they might have been wrong.
Yeah.
But I don't take that approach anymore. If I start to feel some type of way, I look inward instead of outward and be like, "Oh, I'm not responding to this correctly. I'm not. I'm. I'm being tempted with unforgiveness right now, and I don't go there no more. If somebody's making me feel that way,
Yeah.
I just go to God and be like, God, you know what? I forgive them, and it's amazing how fast that anger or that sadness or whatever they're making me try to feel when I go forgive them, it's like it just goes away. It's like magic, man. It's crazy.
That's awesome. That's awesome, man. I did want to touch up on something
Hmm.
in reference to the politics. You know,
Hmm.
you mentioned, you lost your friend of what you said, 30 years.
I mean,
Or
not a
person.
friend, a lot of people,
A lot of
a lot of
people.
people. Yeah.
One thing that I've always brought up to people because I'm not big into politics. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? I don't really put too much, thought into it. But the people that are around me, I've seen them get into arguments.
Mhm.
Literally, friends
Oh yeah.
get into arguments over it. And, when you see on TV everybody fighting, all the
Mhm.
chaos and craziness going on. In my mind, I'm like, I'm kind of big on conspiracy theories and things
Mhm.
like that. And I believe to an extent the government does want us to die off
Mhm.
to a certain extent.
Oh, and the media definitely does a
And
good job pinning us against each
correct.
other. Yeah.
So it's like I try to tell my friends when I hear them arguing, I'm like, why don't we see the uppers in the government, talking about the higher ups, throwing fists, stabbing each other,
That'd be cool.
rioting?
That'll make for some good entertainment.
We're
like,
almost there.
why if it's such a
Celebrity
strong
deathmatch.
topic, right? Why are they not doing it on TV? Because like in other countries,
Yeah.
you see China when they in their whole thing and like they be going at it, like they're really into it. So it's like, why are we fighting, throwing fists and stabbing and doing all this
Go back to
craziness,
jousting.
shooting and all this stuff, but they're not.
Yeah.
When you
Like
say
that-
they, you mean like the politicians at
The
the top?
yeah, everybody at
Okay.
the top.
Well, because they're acting.
Hmm.
Yeah.
They're all acting. There are some good politicians up there.
Yeah.
There's some good guys in there, and they're fighting, but the vast majority of the rest of them, they're acting. Like I said, it's just wrestling. It's just WWE. They're acting like they're coming against each other. They're acting like they're arguing. But at the end of the day, the vast majority of them, they all have the same agenda. That's when, when it was George Bush Sr. and then Clinton came along. Clinton, there went Republican to Democrat, but Bill Clinton just keeps on doing the same things that George Bush was doing, Sr., and then Bush Jr. comes along and he's saying this and saying that, but he just does the same thing and progresses the same plans that Bill Clinton was doing.
Right.
Then Obama comes along and he does the same thing. He just builds on what George Bush did. And I noticed this. I'm like, they're all on the same team. They're saying this and saying that, but I'm seeing the same thing, but their plans are progressing. And that's what really made me start to pay attention to politics, is when Trump came along. And when Trump came along, I was like, no, God, here we go again. Here we go again. This is the one. This is
The
their
ultimate show.
this is their next puppet.
Yeah.
I'm like,
Yeah.
bro, I'm checking out. I'm done with
I
politics.
felt the same way when he first came out.
I'm
yeah.
checking out, bro.
I think that was everybody's reaction when he won the elections.
Yeah.
you know?
Well, I started paying attention to him because I gave him a chance, because I heard about a prophet named Mark Taylor, and he prophesied back in 2012 that Trump would become president. I said, okay, all right, I'm just going to hear what Buddy got to say. And I would see what the media said about him. Like, they would take this clip and they'd be like, he said that, for example, he said that neo-Nazis and were good people.
Yeah.
Right? And I was like, well, hold up. Ain't no way. Did he really say that? And I went and I was like, I got to see this for myself. I get on YouTube and I searched it, and I found a 2.5 minute video. It took me 3 minutes of research
To understand what he was really trying to say.
and what he said is, it was about the Ferguson thing, right? And there was people on both sides. There was two sides of an argument, and he said there's good people on both sides of this thing. There's good people on both sides. And then he said, I'm not talking about the neo-Nazis or them. They should be condemned entirely. I can't remember exactly the words he said, but he specifically condemned them. And he's like, I'm not talking about them. But the news took it and said, he said neo-Nazis are good people.
Yeah, they pick and choose what they want to share.
And people took that and they run with it. He's a racist. But it took me 3 minutes of research to go, that is not what the dude said. It's really not what he said. And Trump is by no means a perfect person. And if you're looking for a perfect person to be president, I got bad news for you. You ain't gonna find one.
Yeah, there ain't no person.
And usually the ones that are pretending they are
Yeah.
are
Yeah.
bad news.
Yeah.
Gucci man for president.
So
Everybody wants The Rock to be president next.
No,
I've heard
bro.
that so much.
Absolutely
I'm
not.
just
No.
like, listen. They had Arnold Schwarzenegger in government.
And
Okay,
look,
like
what was he? He was
any-
like the governor of
you-
California.
yeah, like
Yeah.
to me, anything's possible. I mean, if you got
Well, that
the
was like-
funds, you can run.
Even
Yeah.
that, like I remember, I was pretty young, like when Arnold Schwarzenegger like
Yeah.
had his run and stuff, and I
Uh-huh.
remember
Correct.
that being crazy too. Like
Mhm.
just it's like, oh, the Terminator. And I think people had a lot.
Well,
of
and he
that
wasn't
approach
even
with-
from here, right? Like, so
he's from Austria.
yeah.
Yeah,
I remember like a lot of people didn't really know, like because Trump was, I guess, involved in politics prior to running, was he? Or-
Not really. I mean, he donated to both sides. He donated to
Right.
both parties. And as a businessman, that's just a smart thing to do.
Yeah, yeah.
Trump was all business.
I think a lot of people didn't take that serious because they're thinking about like the host of the show The Apprentice and stuff,
Mhm.
and they're like,
Yeah.
obviously this is a man of
Yeah.
wealth,
Mhm.
but they're like, how did we land here?
exactly. I think that was a huge surprise.
It took for him being president for a little while and me like actually looking into it for me to like change my mind about him, because again, like
Mhm.
when he first came along, I was like, oh man, another one of these, and then he did win me over.
Mm-hmm. Oh, good. Awesome.
We're gonna have an AI president next. Did you know that?
I-
They're still working on Chat GPT or one of those things.
Oh, Lord.
It's gonna say all the right things.
All right, so we got into the politics thing a little bit, and we can get back into it later. But so let's get back into the music. Like, so when exactly did you start experimenting with music, and when did you start taking it seriously?
I started to experiment in music at 5 years old. Well, I always loved music, man. When I was a little kid, I literally thought I was Michael Jackson. And I had this button-up shirt. It was a short sleeve shirt. It was button up, and I would run around the house with it unbuttoned and spinning around and kicking. I really thought I was Michael Jackson.
I think
And
every kid around that time
and-
thought they were.
And I mean, I'm so old that we were still listening to records when I was a kid, and I had a Michael Jackson record and I had a Stevie Wonder record,
Mhm.
and I would make my mom play that every day.
What Stevie record? Do you remember?
It was
Songs in the Key of Life.
no, it was
That's my favorite.
part-time lover.
Oh damn.
okay.
Is that the one where like
Yeah.
with Living for the City? Was that on it?
No, that was earlier.
Okay,
that was
I
earlier.
gotcha.
Part-time lover was in the 80s. But I would listen to those records like every day and spin around the house. And I remember the day that my mom took my Michael Jackson shirt away. It was my Michael Jackson shirt, bro. And she took that away and said, "It's too small for you. You can't wear this anymore." I'm like, "Mom, that's my Michael Jackson shirt. I don't think you understand. This is my Michael Jackson shirt."
Yeah.
She's like, "No, it's too small." And she would not give in, and she took it away from me. And that's one of the things that I had to forgive her for.
Did she at least let you keep it? As
No, she wouldn't let me keep
Oh,
it.
she
I
just
was
threw
like,
it away.
She sent
Oh,
that into
damn.
Goodwill.
I could not have put, as a 5-year-old, I could not have put forth a better argument like, "Mom, I'll just wear it around the house. I won't wear it outside.
Yeah.
Just let me have my Michael Jackson shirt." Nope, too small.
Maybe it got donated and somebody got the
Man,
same
I hope
enjoyment.
Somebody got the Michael
Yeah,
Jackson
right.
powers.
I hope
Somebody's
there's,
walking around with your shirt right now.
I hope there's a 3-year-old in Hardyville right now spinning around.
Do you have a new Michael Jackson shirt?
No, bro.
We got to
No,
get you a new
somebody
Michael
gotta
Jackson
send me
shirt.
a Michael Jackson shirt, man.
So when you first started experimenting with music, like how were you experimenting with
So
it?
my uncle Grady was the coolest dude. And back in the 80s, everybody was beatboxing, and he taught us how to beatbox when I was 5. So I started out beatboxing, and I
Still got it?
man, not like these cats today, man. These cats are crazy
Yeah,
today,
yeah.
but back in the 80s, I was considered pretty good at it, 80s and 90s. And then got into middle school. Well, I actually sang in the choir in 5th grade, which was funny because I to this day I remember seeing they took a video of one of our recitals. And I remember when I was singing like this, I had this mean look on my face on. I'm like, is that what I look like when I'm singing? And sometimes even to this day, I have to be mindful because when I sing, I tend to make that
The
face.
same face?
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
look grouchy
And
sometimes.
and I try to as when I'm on stage sometimes I try to make myself smile,
Yeah.
but because I don't want to look like that. But so then in middle school we were big into desk beating, making
Okay.
beats on desks.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
With the pen.
Uh-huh. Well, no, this was before the pen.
Oh, okay.
Ben wasn't even introduced at this point.
Damn.
I'm the OG of desk beating. So
Number
yeah.
2 pencil.
And I didn't know this until about 8 years ago. And this buddy that I went to middle school with, he's like, "Man, I remember you were the best. You were the best desk beater at McCracken." I'm like, "For real? Thanks, man." And so then I started singing at 16. I had my first car was a 1963 Chevy Bel Air. It was all original,
Dope.
no radio. And driving from Pitcherville to high school, on the island, it was like 30 minutes with no radio. And it got
Dang.
boring, so I just started singing. And one day I was like, "Oh snap, I can actually sing." And before that, I thought I was gonna be a rapper, so I was always freestyling and stuff.
Mhm.
And I thought I was gonna be a rapper. Then I figured out I could sing. Started singing.
It's never too late, bro.
Hey,
Yeah, nowadays.
I might write
You
some
got-
bars.
Bring it
I don't know.
back.
You got
I
any
might.
freestyles?
We
you
gotta
remember?
get you. We gotta
Man,
get you a desk.
I haven't. I haven't freestyled. I can't remember the last time. I might just make a fool out of myself if I try to do that.
It might be today when you spin that wheel. You
Yeah,
never
right.
know.
It's on
There's
there.
a bit of
What's
freestyle
Oh,
on there. I'm
okay.
looking at it.
Oh, we'll see what happens. So then my brother got a guitar when he was like 13, and my parents kept buying him guitars for years. I'm like, "I want drums. I want drums." And they bought him like 3 or 4 guitars, and I finally made my dad feel bad. I was like, "I've been asking for drums for years. You keep buying Zach guitars. I still haven't seen any drums." I came home the next day, and there was a Pearl Export Series drums in the living room. They were putting it together. So, and actually before that, the reason why I wanted drums is because we were in a shed kind of like this, but it was not nearly this nice. And my dad's tool shed, and that was our first studio, bro. Zach was playing guitar, and I didn't have drums, so Pritchardville, you make do, bro.
Yeah.
make
When you
things
say
happen.
Zach, will you tell the audience who you're talking about? I know who Zach. I know.
Oh, yeah. Sorry, I got to name drop my big little bro
He's-
here,
he's the
Zach
man.
Deputy.
Is that your little brother?
Yeah, I'm
Oh,
actually
you're the
older.
older. Oh,
Everybody
damn.
thinks he's older than me, but yeah, Zach, he toured the country for the last 20 something years, playing headlining festivals and stuff. He was a pioneer of looping, so that's who I'm talking
Yeah,
about.
definitely.
That's awesome.
Look up Zach Deputy on Spotify for sure.
Shout out to Zach.
I love like all the influences too. I mean, I got to catch him towards the end of his set at Tiki Hut a few times
Mhm.
over the past couple years, but he did the beer garden in Port Royal.
Yeah,
and I think it was like I want to say it was like either like 4th of July or the day before.
Mhm.
But just like he got everybody, he played Super Mario theme song,
Uh-huh.
and then went into like a conga song, and everyone's walking around doing
Yeah.
the conga line. And his shows are so fun, man. He
Yeah.
might throw a little hip hop in there, and
Mhm.
and like
That's
looping.
awesome.
I get so frustrated with looping. I'm a little late to the game, and still have a lot to learn. But
Just gotta
I
keep
feel like,
doing it, man.
do you think like looping gives you a lot of creative freedom?
You
Yes
could be a
and no.
one-man band.
Yes and no.
Yeah.
Yes and no. Because you are limited to what you can do looping. I mean, you can't do a song with a lot of changes.
Yeah.
The loop, it's got to be like 4 or 8 bars of a repeating song. So you can do a lot more with it by yourself. But as far as songs go, you are limited to what you can do.
Kind of what you can fit into.
Yeah.
And you run like at a lot of your live performances. You do like, is it MIDI? Is that what you're running when you have the laptop and stuff, or is
I
that-
don't have a laptop.
No?
I have a drum pad,
Okay.
a Roland Octopad,
Yeah, yeah.
and I have 2 guitar synthesizers. I get some sounds from one guitar, some sounds from the other guitar, and then I have a vocal harmonizer. I think you got the same one that
Yeah.
I have, and then I have a Boss loop RC300 loop station. So that's pretty much all I'm running.
Nice.
And where are you performing it?
Right now. I mean, I'm trying to find some gigs, bro.
January and February. It's
January.
tough.
I think for everybody it's slow. Everybody just finished spending
Yeah.
money,
Yeah.
holidays, traveling, all that stuff.
Restaurants don't really want to pay. I mean, it's just that weird time before spring, and then it's
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
For sure.
around here we
After
we
the
hit
holidays
ground
and
running.
before the season really starts.
Give it right around March.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everybody start coming back
Oh,
into
yeah.
town. The money starts rolling back in.
Yep. Yeah, I ain't
That's
worried
true.
about it. I'm enjoying my time off, man. This
Same.
is
Yeah.
my downtime. So
Have you had any of your music, go viral or get a lot of attention?
no, man. Only thing I've gotten attention is my crazy videos.
Listen, people love entertainment.
Yeah, I
man.
mean,
Yeah.
you,
They
You
love
are a great
entertainment.
weatherman. I'll give you that.
Yeah, and training in the woods,
Oh yeah, the
The
karate,
video-
the karate in the woods.
the video in the bathtub, rubber ducky.
Now, was that promotion for a roasting room show, or what? Or do you actually do karate in the woods, or will the world never know?
Do I
Yeah.
have to answer that?
No.
It looked pretty legit, man.
But I just, when I was making those videos, I've always really loved comedy and making people laugh. And my big influence with that again is my Uncle Grady, the one that got me into music, beatboxing. He's the funniest dude that you will ever meet, and he should be one of the biggest comedians in the country,
Mhm.
but he won't get on stage. But he's one of the funniest people you will ever come in contact with, and I just got my sense of comedy from him, and really my mom's side of the family. They're from St. Croix,
Yep.
Virgin Islands, and in the Virgin Islands at least back then when they were there, all the people wanted to do was laugh. Like, they would make a joke out of everything. I remember my grandma telling me about it, being from St. Croix, and she was like, "You couldn't mess up because they would write a song about you." And the music that they listened to was called calypso.
Mhm.
And she's like, "Yeah, you couldn't mess up because they would make a calypso out of you." So I always loved comedy. I love making people laugh. I got class clown in high school.
Congratulations.
Thanks, man. That's sort of my major accomplishments in life.
In life, right? That's
Yeah,
what it is.
on the resume.
Yeah, because I was actually trying to get that thing.
That's-
But so making videos and stuff is just I just really wanted to make people laugh. I want to make people happy and bring a positive energy to them. And I made that first weather video. I got tired of, like I said, I really care about truth and right and wrong and truth and deception. And I kept seeing these dudes on the Weather Channel over exaggerating these
Holding on
hurricane-
to a stop sign, someone's
Yeah.
like walking in the background.
Exactly. I'm like, bro, I got to make a video.
And it's like living here, they'll shut down the town just because they think something's gonna happen.
Yeah, quickly.
Back in the day we were in school, they didn't close school. They're like,
Yeah.
look,
Good
there
luck.
might be
Yeah.
there might be some tornadoes, but if there is, we're just gonna get in the hall and cover our head.
That should work,
yeah.
right?
You
Yeah.
know, we'll be all right.
Just like in New York, we had blizzards, 5 feet of snow.
Your
yeah.
ass is walking
And
to
you
school
would
still.
See all the kids struggling to get to school,
Yeah,
but your
bro.
ass better show up to
Yeah.
school.
I mean, realistically, you'd probably be more safe in a school than
I think
Yeah.
bus drivers up
True.
north too. You have a higher probability of people knowing how to
Mhm.
drive in those
Oh,
conditions
yeah.
than like
Listen,
down here. It's like it's drizzling.
when-
Let me
when
go
it-
40.
Right when I first came down here, and I remember like we had a couple snowstorms, and I see the law enforcement just
Uh-huh.
skidding all around the place. I'm like, none of y'all know how to drive. Like
That had to be
you could tell-
2018, right?
Right? Yeah.
Yeah.
you could tell who was from up north because they were stopping on
Yeah.
point. You know what I
Uh-huh.
mean? Everybody else was just crashing, going all
Yeah.
over the place. I was like, yeah.
I've driven
Yeah,
in
this place
snow
is bad.
twice. It's just fucking it's terrifying if you don't know what you're doing.
It does
Right.
suck though. It sucks.
But
I knew
Yeah.
I didn't know what I was doing. I went to Walmart. I went about 18 miles per hour. I'm like, y'all ain't gonna see me in no ditch
Yeah, yeah.
today.
Oh man.
that black ice around here too
Mhm.
is what
Uh-huh.
they say. Yeah, man, that's what'll get you.
Yeah.
It freezes,
Yeah,
it
you-
melts, and then you can't see it.
You got to know what you're doing on that ice, man.
Right.
When I was 9 years old, I found out about ice, bro. Because
I found out about
It
ice.
took you that long?
Damn.
we were visiting my grandpa in Kentucky in Louisville for
Oh, yeah.
Christmas break, and it snows up there, and we don't see snow and ice, and there was ice on the driveway, and they said, "Don't go play on that ice." So we went and played on the ice.
Straight busted your ass.
Bro, I slipped forward and broke my front teeth.
Oh.
Bam. I looked down and my front teeth were on the ground. And we want to talk about traumatic experience, bro? Slip and fall and have your front teeth fall out on the ground.
Damn.
It is wild.
How
I
long
think
did
I
you have
like
to
that,
rock
man.
the two front teeth missing?
For weeks back then. Yeah. For weeks, I had to go back to back from Christmas break. You know, everybody's back with their fresh outfits for Christmas
you had
and
fresh
everything.
no teeth.
I had a V, an upside down V,
Oh my goodness.
and everybody's like, and I just had to eat it, man.
You
I
just told
had
him told him you got to fight.
You should see the other guy.
You had
Yeah.
to forgive,
You
you had to
see the other
forgive that
guy.
ice.
That ice, man. That thing hurt, bro. I was running up. I ran up to the house. I was screaming and crying, bro, because I was freaked out. And my dad opens the door. It's funny to me now, but my dad opens the door. My dad was like the strongest dude. Like, you didn't want to mess with Paul Deputy. You did not
Mhm.
want him. You did not want to catch that left. You know, and he's such a big, strong man. And he opened the door, and his eyes just started watering. He goes, "Son!"
You broke that strong man down.
Yeah, man, it's something when you see your kids in
For
pain.
sure.
See your kids in pain, bro.
Absolutely.
That shit
Yeah,
hurts.
it's definitely not a good feeling.
So I found out about ice at 9 years old. I don't play with that. I was going 18 miles per hour. I was 2 hands on the wheel,
Yeah.
driving like an old man. I'm like, I don't care.
It was a field. I guess that was like 2018 when we got like the last one that
Yeah.
really
Snowed
stuck
out.
to the
Mhm.
ground. It was like a few days.
That's when people were making snowmen and all that
Yeah.
stuff. And,
Yeah.
Was that like the
It's like-
same year that we got Hurricane Matthew?
No, it was like a year after.
Okay.
I think
It was a year
I
after,
think Matthew was
something
like
like that.
2017, but I just
Yeah.
remember it's like nobody really knows how to
Yeah.
drive in those conditions down here. So
Well, they
it's like-
also don't even have like the like trucks to like clear roads or salt roads.
also
or,
everything here
Yeah.
is bridges.
that's
It's like
true.
connected by bridges. It's like yeah, you go be adventurous if you
Yeah.
want. I'm not hating, but it's like when your ass slide down the bridge the wrong way.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah. I don't know. I think people freak out too much, when things happen. I remember the last bad hurricane that we did have.
Yeah.
What was it like? We got hit with like a 3, I think it was.
Was it
Is
Matthew?
that Matthew?
I think it was on the island that the island got hit pretty bad.
Matthew is fun.
I mean, so many people evacuated, but like I'm so used to bad weather coming up from up north. I'm like,
I never evacuated.
I never evacuated. I stood around. I remember I'm going outside at the time. I had a drop top convertible Lexus.
Mm-hmm.
I shit you not. I was outside with my Lexus convertible back and just riding around. People like, oh my God, go by my house and check and see if it's.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
I'm like cruising with my top down. I'm like, this is not a
You know what?
hurricane.
Though?
I was like-
Was that Matthew or was that Irma?
I think Irma came after Matthew. Matthew was bad, bro.
One was like
Matthew was the
one. They
serious
psyched
one.
us out because everybody evacuated and then nothing happened.
Yeah, a lot of people evacuated, but there was one where a lot of trees did get knocked down. But
That
I
was
mean,
Matthew. For
That
sure.
was Matthew.
Yeah.
That was wild.
Yeah, because I
You play a
drove
lot of
around.
hurricane parties.
No,
No,
I had. I used to be one of those ones that's like, man, I'm not evacuating, bro.
Yeah.
But after what I saw what Matthew did, I'm like, I'm not playing no games with this because if
That's terrifying.
a tree could just fall down on top
For
of you.
sure.
A tornado could hit you in the hurricane.
Mhm.
On some parts of Hilton Head, there's these things that happen in a hurricane called microburst, and just 200 miles an hour. The hurricane might only be 100 miles per hour, but you can get parts of that hurricane that are hitting you with such force. I remember driving through Port Royal Plantation, and all the trees were gone.
Oh
Yeah.
shit.
They were all gone. And I used to do a lot of work in there, and I know that plantation well. And driving through there, it just looked like pine trees this big, look like pickup sticks, man.
Damn.
Yeah.
Everywhere.
The ground,
I don't
yeah.
play no games.
I
with
remember
it.
after Matthew, I drove to Hilton Head, and there was literally boats on 278. Like,
Yeah.
it was so flooded. But I guess it depends on where you're staying. Like, if you're not staying somewhere where there's trees and you're elevated, your roof is rated for a hurricane, I'd
Yeah.
maybe stick around. But if you're
Mhm.
like I would not stay right here with all these trees around me, because
No, I
that's
don't
the
play
best
no
way to
games,
die.
bro. I
Weather
don't
is
play no games.
terrifying.
Yeah.
Like, it's so unpredictable.
You
And
don't
that's
know.
a mighty force. You can't be like, hey, stop.
Right.
Don't pull up. My dad. If you see the Walmart flying around, you're in trouble.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
'Cause if that Walmart get yoked out of the ground, you know
Yeah.
some shit's going on.
Yeah.
All right, well, we're gonna take a break and we're gonna cut to Bishop with Real Talk, and we'll be right back.
Playboy Bishop, man, we here on Real Talk. Who I got to deal with me? Loud. Know that. No, I'm talking about, I got a couple questions for you, my boy. So the first question is, who you think lie more, men or women?
Female.
Females?
Yes, sir.
Okay. You want to just keep it at that? 'Cause I agree with you. Second question, what's 3 instant turn-offs from a female?
Female who always smoking vapes. A female who in the club every weekend.
I feel it. Especially about that club shit.
And if your house dirty, man.
3 major facts. 3 major facts now. 3 major facts.
Gotta put them vapes down, man.
Next question. You ever got caught cheating?
Yeah.
How did you get caught cheating?
Shit, a girl had hacked my Facebook. You know,
Yeah. Hey, I ain't gonna lie.
it wasn't my fault.
Yeah, them bitches sneaky, man. Them bitches know how to get in any fucking social
Now
media,
be,
man.
everybody be faithful though, man.
Yeah. You go through your girl phone or nah?
No, sir. I went through it one time. Couldn't eat for 2 days. Never again.
Never
Ain't my business, man.
Fuck it. Fuck it. Alright. What song you think you would tell your younger self?
Don't smoke weed and stay focused. Save your money for sure.
Okay. And what's a turn on from a female?
I like a girl who get money and who can cook and who clean.
Yes,
You know what
sir.
I mean? And who get her hair done, nails done, everything good.
Everything did.
Without me paying for it.
You feel me? No cap, no cap, but independent one, man. I appreciate it, man. You can shout out your IG or whatever.
Y'all stay off IG, man.
Okay. Hey, real shit, man. Fuck it, man. The Recess Show, man. Playboy Bishop TV, man. Do you stay up? Yes or no?
And we're back. Welcome to the Stay Up Late Night, a different kind of late night. We're back. My co-host Keith, and tonight's star of the show, Mr. Whitley Deputy.
Yay.
Yeah.
Sir. So we've been talking a lot about your music. Which song that you're trying to get out? We were just briefly discussing off camera. That you're trying to put out and
It's
get
actually
registered.
my first record.
Okay. What's the name of it?
The record's called One Life.
One Life. Okay.
And it's pretty much a soul record, but it's kind of poppy, but soul, funky. It's 10 songs on it, 9 originals. The one that's not original, I did a version of My Sherry or More by Stevie Wonder.
Okay.
Nice.
But the other 9 songs are originals. And I'm trying to figure out how to release it, but these.
Is ASCAP kind of beating you up over the Stevie Wonder one, or is it more just kind of
No, it's because my tax status is different.
Oh, okay, got
You
it.
know, and my civil political status is different than what most people have. So they're not used to somebody like me. They don't know how to do it. I'm hoping that we can work something out. Otherwise, I may have to sue them for discrimination if they don't want to do business with me because of my tax status
Mhm.
Juicy.
or my civil status. Then that's discrimination.
What is
Yeah.
a civil status?
So a lot of people don't realize that there's multiple statuses that you can claim in this country. they think that you're either a U.S. citizen or an illegal alien or you're here on a
Oh,
visa.
I got you.
Yeah.
And there's actually more statuses that you can claim other than that are far more
Sovereign citizen.
well, there's no such thing as a sovereign citizen. That's a bad term.
Okay.
But I am what people would identify as that, but we don't call ourselves
Is there a
sovereign
cooler
citizen.
name for it now?
The
I like
way-
the word sovereign. I mean, I try to say
Oh,
that
I
shit.
am sovereign, but I'm not a
Yeah,
citizen.
I got you.
I'm what's called a state national, which means I'm a state national of South Carolina, and what people don't realize is that each state is a country. It has its own constitution.
Correct.
South Carolina is a country. That's why it's called a state, like the state of Israel, the state of Germany.
Right.
South Carolina is a state. And the United States of America is a republic. It's actually a group of countries. But people think that United States of America is a country. It's not a country. It's a republic. So I belong to. I claim allegiance to South Carolina, the republic. What that means is I'm not a U.S. citizen. U.S. stands for United States, which is a corporation. It's even defined in the U.S. Code as a corporation. And it's very different from United States of America.
Mm-hmm.
That's why it's called a U.S. citizen, not a USA citizen. And people don't really pick up on that trick. So people fill out their W-9, and they say on the W-9 it says, "Are you a U.S. citizen?" And everybody's like, "Yeah." Boom, let me check that off. And you just signed up to pay taxes. So that's why you give a W-9. I don't give a W-9. I give a W-8BEN, which means I'm foreign to the United States. I'm foreign to that corporation.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not in contract with that corporation. I don't do business with that corporation. I don't volunteer to give them any money. It's pretty sweet. Take some balls to do this.
Yeah.
You get a lot of return to sender like stuff when you fill out forms.
No,
Yeah.
no, because they know it's true, and they can't argue it.
People just don't contest
So they
it
don't.
enough. Yeah.
They don't even contest it.
Yeah.
They don't even contest it. I sent some paperwork to the Secretary of State of the United States, saying, "Hey, I know what you guys are doing. I'm onto this U.S. citizen thing. I know it's a scam. It's a fraud. I am not a U.S. citizen. I am a state national, and it's a form of an affidavit, which means that anything I put, for those of you that don't know what an affidavit is, it's a document that I make that says everything in this document is true, and if I say anything that's not true, I go to prison.
Right.
So affidavits are very powerful. And so I sent them an affidavit, and how affidavits work is they have 21 days to respond and rebut my affidavit.
Mm-hmm.
If they don't respond or rebut to my affidavit, I take this document and I record it at a county deeds office somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
They won't do it in Beaufort or Jasper County because it's so corrupt.
Yeah.
So I had to send mine to a county in Arizona, but it doesn't matter where you do it. You record it, and now it's a public record, and that means it's a settled matter. Nobody can argue it. I've already dealt with the United States and told them who I am, what status I'm claiming. So
with ASCAP, I'm sorry to interrupt.
Mhm.
With ASCAP, like, is that comes into terms with like who your identity when you submit music to
Mhm.
them? I mean, ASCAP is copyright, like
Mhm.
kind of like BMI in a sense.
Mhm. Yeah.
Correct?
Right.
So the ASCAP wants me to fill out this application, and they don't have options for who I am on their application.
Right. I got you.
So I emailed them like, "Hey, none of this stuff doesn't apply to me. In order for me to fill out your application, we got to figure out some other way, because I don't live in the United States. I live in the United States of America, and the only option that they give me as country of origin is United States. But my country of origin, or where I live, is South Carolina.
Yeah.
So
Gotcha. So what happens when you get pulled over? Like, how does that whole situation go?
well, I got 3 court cases going right now because of that. I went to jail back in July. Like, I will go to jail over this stuff. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They made a mistake when they took me to jail. I put them on notice. I said, "Hey, I'm not a U.S. citizen. I don't use a driver's license. I don't use a registration.
Mhm.
My car's not registered. I don't contract with the state of South Carolina. I live in South Carolina, not the state of South Carolina. So it's the same deal with the United States and United States of America. Whereas United States is a corporation, United States of America is a republic. South Carolina is a state. The state of South Carolina is a corporation, and it's a subsidiary corporation of the United States. So they fall under that umbrella, so to speak.
How did you find this information?
Oh man, to be quite honest with you, I think God guided me to it.
Yeah.
But I started researching. Somebody sent me a video. I looked at it. I'm like, bro, there's something to this. And I researched it for about a good 6 months before I accepted it as truth. There's a guy named David Straight. There's a guy named Bobby Lawrence. There's a guy named Brandon Joe Williams. You could check all those guys out if you're interested in this stuff.
Yeah.
But you got to relearn a lot of things, man. You got to go back to school. You got to do your homework.
Yeah.
And you really got to know what you're doing before you try any of this stuff, because you can get in trouble, because the court system, the legal system is all set up. It's all set up against us, bro. Think about this. The state of South Carolina is a corporation, right? You got a cop that pulls you over. He's paid by the state of South Carolina. He gives you a ticket, right? The ticket, you got to go pay. Where does that money go to? The state of South Carolina. If you want to fight your ticket, you got to go to court and go up against a prosecutor who's paid by the state of South Carolina. And the person who's supposed to be making sure that all this is fair is the judge. Who pays the judge?
Yeah.
The state of South Carolina. Bro, are you for real? You serious? This ain't a con job?
So
Yeah, all of y'all are on the same team. You're all getting paid by the same people. It is in your best interest for me to be guilty, because your boss gets paid if I'm guilty. It's a scam, but it only works.
How long have you been filing your taxes like this, though? I mean, you said technically you don't.
I'm not going to talk about.
No, we don't get.
I'm not going to talk about that. But I'm telling you that you can do this.
Yeah.
I'm not going to go into too much detail about what I do with my taxes. I'm telling you that you can do this, and it's totally legal. There's not one single law that says that you have to pay taxes.
Yeah.
There's not a law. There's no law that says that you have to pay federal income tax.
And see, I feel like a lot of people don't know about this, but at the same time, our roads still aren't fixed.
Right.
It's the sad truth.
Yeah. Well, the federal income tax doesn't pay for the roads.
Yeah.
It goes back to pay the Federal Reserve. All that money goes back to pay for the Federal Reserve.
Doomed.
Definitely do.
Yeah.
Definitely do.
Because our government, which they're not really our government, they're corporations, they borrow money from the Federal Reserve. And they use us as collateral and our birth certificates as collateral. And they said, we're going to borrow this money. And the Federal Reserve's like, how are you going to pay us back? And they're like, oh, we're just going to pay you back from the taxes that we get from these people that don't know that they don't have to pay them. Yeah. You know, it's pretty wild.
Man,
It's pretty wild.
I remember, this is kind of a little off subject, but still kind of on subject. I remember back when I was in 8th grade, so this would have been like, I guess like 2005. A kid brought a DVD to school, and it was called Zeitgeist. Y'all are familiar with Zeitgeist?
Yeah.
David, I think they made like a part 2 or something, but like the first part was like religion. I think the second part was like federal banking, like you know, like Federal Reserve and stuff.
Yeah.
I remember watching that for the first time. A little fragile eggshell mind was just like,
Yeah.
it's crazy. Like to hear like that a bank just continuously borrows money from themselves. I'm sure it probably
No,
goes,
they don't.
No,
The banks do not borrow. They borrow. The banks borrow from the Federal Reserve. It's kind of weird how it works.
Yeah.
So, let's say I'm going to get a car loan, right? And I fill out this application, and I sign it, and I give it to them. I say, yeah, I'll pay you back. They take that application, bro. What you don't know? Let's say I want to get a new Escalade, bro. 150K. And I sign this application, and I give it to them. Do you know that application is worth $150,000? you might as well have just given them a briefcase with $150,000 in it. I don't think you really understand what I'm saying, bro. Like that application has the monetary value of $150,000. You are holding in your hands $150,000. You give it to them.
Yeah.
All this is in the U.S. Code and the Federal Reserve Act and all that stuff. You could go research this stuff. What the bank does is they take that application and they go to the Federal Reserve and they say, here's this application, which is really not application. What it is it's a security. It's a security. It's a negotiable instrument. And they take it and they give it to the Federal Reserve, and the Federal Reserve says, all right, here's $150,000. Here you go. And they come back to you and say, okay, you've been approved. We will loan you this $150,000. Bro, that wasn't your money.
Yeah.
That wasn't your money. They're lying to you when they say that they loaned you. That it's fraud.
Mm-hmm.
Now here's where it really gets crazy. They could take that application to Federal Reserve. Every time the Federal Reserve doesn't turn them down, they give them that $150. Then they come back to you and say, "Hey, sorry, your loan has been denied." But they got the money.
Yeah.
They got the money.
Yeah.
Make it make
Bro,
sense.
it's
Wow.
it makes sense. They want
Shit
it's
goes
all about
deep.
money.
Yeah, yeah.
Dude, the
They
fraud
just
and
don't want you to ask questions. They don't
Correct.
want you.
Correct.
but here's the thing. It's all out in the open. It's
Right.
all, if you read through the US
Fine print.
codes, if you read through the Federal Reserve Act, if you read through all that stuff, you will see, bro, this is what they're doing. The US code, or is it the Federal Reserve Act? I'm getting mixed up. But it tells the banks what they have the power to do, and the banks have the power to borrow. They do not have the power to lend. And they tricked us into thinking that they're the borrower. I mean, that we're the borrower and they're the lender, when
They're middlemaning.
Yeah.
They're the middleman.
Yeah, yeah.
Right.
They're the middleman. That's why they're called a bank.
Fucking Timu.
Yeah.
So
Right.
commerce, it's really weird, but it all has to do with like water symbolism. So that's why it's called currency, like a current. That's why it's called liquidating assets. That's why it's called freezing your assets. That's why they're called banks, because what do banks do? Banks tell the water where to go. And that's all a bank does. All a bank does is redirect funds. Tells which the current of the sea to go this way. Tells the current,
Currency.
yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Tells the current sea to go this way. Bro, it's really strange. And when you first start to
Like
study
nautical laws, or like is like
Admiralty law.
Admiralty. Okay.
commercial law is admiralty law.
Huh.
Yeah. So that's why a lot of the terms when it comes to financing and economics, they all seem to have a lot to do with water.
Yeah.
Like birth certificate. Like birth is something that a ship does when you put it out to sea for the first time. You birth the ship.
Yeah.
They consider us ships. That's why our names are in all capital letters.
Look at that.
You look at your driver's license or birth certificate, whatever, your name will be in all capital letters. That's not how they taught me to write my
Makes me
name.
want to hit it with the.
Yeah. It's wild, man. When
It's
you
crazy.
first start researching this stuff, it's like, this can't even be true.
Do you think you got more into the political and government stuff like when like Trump was running for president, or were you always into this?
I was into it, like especially when 9/11 happened, bro. I was pissed. I was like, you ain't messing with my country like that. Get him, George Bush.
Yeah,
You know?
everybody was like that.
And then he signed the Patriot Act. And we were all for it. Yeah, you spy on us. It doesn't matter. You can spy on every one of us as long as you catch those terrorists. And then Obama came along and he built upon that. And he signed the National Defense Authorization Act, which is just gave the government, which isn't a government, it's a corporation, the ability to spy on us. And all they got to do is suspect that you might be a terrorist. It's messed
Yeah.
up. It's
It's
unconstitutional.
like reasonable cause.
Yeah. So I was into it back then, and then I because I was all fired up about 9/11, and then I started to research the Masons and the Illuminati and all that stuff.
Yeah, I as well got deep into that.
Yeah, and as I got into that, I got to a point where like, man, they're all evil, Satan worshiping fools. And then I got out of politics. And then Trump came along. I'm like, oh man, this is the next Illuminati puppet. And then I started listening to him, realizing, bro, the media is lying about this dude. When I go back and see what he actually said, I'm like, bro, they are straight up lying. They're saying that he said the opposite of what he really said. So I got back.
Fake news.
Yeah. And Fox News is just as bad. Fox News is diet CNN. You know what I mean?
That's why they say that the government wants to build or breed workers and not thinkers.
Because they
literally,
because the government acts upon the what? How do you say it? The consent of the governed. They can only act if we consent to what they're doing.
Do you forgive them?
I do forgive them, but they still need to be held accountable.
Absolutely.
So I'm not angry at them anymore. I'm not like, oh, you.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, I see what you're doing. You're wrong. I'm not going to be mad at you, but I will hold you accountable.
Do you go get a Chick-fil-A sandwich after you vote?
I don't.
No.
No, dude, I get the tenders.
I like the tenders.
Can you cash that in for tenders? I thought it was like,
Oh, they give you a free Chick-fil-A sandwich?
you didn't know that? Well, it's not free. You borrow it.
You borrow it.
Okay. Yeah.
Coming out your tax dollars.
No, I don't vote anymore because I know it's all corporation stuff, but I am pulling for the people that are running that are good.
Right.
Because I think that what's happening now is people like Trump and other, the handful of the good guys,
Yeah.
I think they're infiltrating the corporations in order to dismantle them. And that's why you see all the hate. That's why
There's a lot of dollars on the line.
Yeah.
Why do you think though that every election, why does it come down to like two of the oldest fucking people you could possibly imagine?
Right?
Why can't we have like what's the age to be a president in South
Well,
Carolina?
I mean,
38,
it doesn't-
35?
You have to be 35, but it doesn't always come down to the oldest. I mean, Obama was not very old. He didn't even have any gray hair when he started running.
Yeah.
So it doesn't always come down to the oldest, but a lot of times it does. I don't have a problem with I don't care how old you are
Yeah.
if you do what's right for the country.
That's true. I mean, and I get that, but I just think in a sense it's like there's the morale of keeping a whole population. It's like, man, like we watched those two guys like stumble back and forth and shit
Yeah.
in a debate.
Bro, Biden is funny, dude.
It's all funny at this point. It's cosmic jokes.
Dude, okay, so it's funny that everything that they said about Trump is true in Biden. They're like, Trump can't even put a sentence together. Trump is old.
And Biden's literally
Trump-
mumbling.
Yeah,
like-
this man is falling. He's so dumb he falls up the stairs.
Oh, yeah.
And he can't talk. This man is like zones out. I mean, I will give him this. He stopped sniffing kids on camera, so at least he stopped doing that. But
yeah.
What about like okay, we've had the TV show host. Can we get Steven Seagal or maybe like Chuck Norris or something? You think that might work, or it's the ideology behind it,
Dude.
whether they care enough to help the country? I'm not trying to be silly, in a sense I am, but like I just mean like fuck. What else do we have to lose?
Well,
I feel
bro,
like
the thing
Steven
is,
Seagal did a
Trump
great
has
job.
always kind of been a businessman, and the country is a business at the end of the day.
Where's Van Damme at? That's what
Where's Van Damme at, right?
I saw Logan Paul said he wants to run for president one
Fuck
day.
that.
I'm sure if he has the money, he'll do it.
I mean, Buddy is
He'll do
he's
it.
a little smart. I don't know what his political views are, but
We're pretty close to just having like all that shit just vlog style on
Yeah.
YouTube. I feel
have
like
you ever seen the movie Idiocracy?
yeah,
That is like so
That's-
accurate.
it's
where we're at.
amazing. When that movie came out, we're like, bro, this is funny.
Yeah.
We're never gonna be there, but
Yeah.
this is really funny. And now I'm like, I was just talking to my brother about this. I'm like, dude, we need to watch Idiocracy. And like, this thing is.
I
coming-
rewatch it every couple of years.
It's coming true.
Right. So aside from all this, how do you feel about that wheel behind you? That's what I want.
Bro,
That's the real question.
Is it time to spin this thing?
Will you forgive it if you get something that you do?
I forgive everybody for
I
everything,
love
every time. Bro.
I love that, man.
Every
Like
time.
forgiveness is so important.
Bro.
So
If people could just really understand that fact that so many of their problems come from unforgiveness. Real quick, I started studying about, really studying about the spiritual realm and things that, bro. There's things going on that we can't see.
Right.
There's things going on that we can't see, and I started studying a lot about demons. And recently, I started helping people get demons out of them. So I guide people through deliverance and get demons out of them. And the way that these demons come in is through open doors. And one of the main open doors that they come through is unforgiveness. I didn't know that. Like when you don't forgive somebody, that can, if you hold on to that long enough, you hold on to that unforgiveness long enough, it's an open door that demons can just walk through and they will just get up inside you. And people got problems. They're like, they don't even know why they do these certain things. Like, why am I doing this? I don't want to do this anymore. And then they just feel compelled to do it. Bro, it's not you, it's a demon. And unforgiveness is one of those doors that they walk through. We got to forgive people, bro. We got to, or else it's just so detrimental to our spirit.
Put it in your body. Yeah.
Yeah. You got to let
Can't
it go.
forgive,
You got to
yeah.
let it go. No, and some funny thing about forgiveness, some people think like the worse somebody treated you, the more you have to hold it against them. That it couldn't be further from the truth. The worse somebody is to you, the more you need to forgive them.
Yeah.
Absolutely. It's freedom, man. It's freedom.
You don't got that chip on your shoulder of always having that hate.
Well, also like
Right.
also if you think about like forgiving somebody, like you have to forgive them for yourself. It can't be about them and their actions.
100%.
It has to be about you, and
Yeah.
and there has to be accountability on both ends. The fact
Mhm.
that you allow somebody to treat you that way and put up with it, and then the separation from that.
Yeah, forgiveness is for you. A lot of people are mad at people because they think that they're paying them back.
If by forgiving them, it'll feel better.
For forgiving them, letting it go, you will feel better. You let it go because you got to leave the past in the past, bro. The past ain't even real. It's not reality. The past isn't real. The future isn't real. The only thing that's real is right here, right now, this present moment that we're in.
Yeah.
And people living in the past or in the future,
And as far as things that you can control, forgiveness is one of them.
that's something,
That's
that you
something
control.
in your
Right.
control.
Yeah.
So.
You let it go, man. Let it go. Don't hold on to it. Let it go.
We about to let this wheel go. What's gonna happen?
Oh,
Yeah.
Stay
All
tuned.
right.
How we looking, Sally?
All right. What y'all want me to spin this thing?
Yeah. All right. So we'll just cut to a commercial after he said stay tuned,
All
and
right.
then you can bring us back in and say I'm Whitley Deputy, and I'm about to. We call it spin the block. That's what the
Spin the block?
That's what
Spin
the segment's
block.
called.
I'm
Yeah.
Whitley Deputy. I'm about to spin the block.
All right.
You can say it however you want, though. You can-
Okay. So we taking a little break?
you want? To,
Or we just
yeah, I mean that.
okay?
That's cool. You about to puff a joint? You about to puff a joint real quick?
That nigga Sally going stupid. Yeah, bitch, just a vibe. Late night, yeah, we on a demon time. Fuckin' with me, you my guy. You know that we stay hella high. Yeah, up all night, get high, yeah, 'cause we stay.
Word. All right, family, it's your boy Whitley Deputy. I want to thank Campfire Tyler, my man Keith, and Sully for having me on the show. It was fun, bro. I swear I think I could do this every day, but and all day. But apparently, it's time to spin this wheel and bring this thing to a close. I'm kind of
Spin the block.
That nigga Sally going stupid.
kind of nervous on where this thing's gonna land. I heard that y'all had somebody like eating scorpions.
That's right. That's right.
So
Freestyling.
I don't know. We're gonna see what happens.
Get a good spin. Good. No. Good spin.
No,
good
it's
spin.
gonna
good
go.
spin.
All right.
I
Good
think,
spin,
I
good
think it was
spin.
gonna go. This thing's spinning.
Now you're gonna get the
Now
one
we're
you
gonna be
didn't
here for
want.
10 minutes. So
Let's get it.
Nice day out.
Well,
Yeah,
we already
right.
talked about the weather earlier.
I know,
hurricanes. 20.
You need one that clicks, man. It needs to
Well,
go.
all right. So I think the thing at the top
it's slowing.
broke because
It's
somebody
slowing
spun it
down.
too hard.
Is that a guitar pick up there? Uh-oh.
Uh,
Wait, it's going the wrong way.
Oh, this thing is rigged, bro.
oh.
Where'd it go?
Show donation or fear factor? No, that's fear factor. It's towards
what's-
fear factor.
Looks like crazy story to me.
What's show donation?
It's a donation to the show.
Cash donation.
I'll make a donation to the show.
Alright.
But y'all wanted to hear my story.
Yeah, we
anyway.
did want a crazy story.
So we can do both. Y'all get the best of both worlds.
All right.
Let me see if I got. Let me see how much. I don't think I got no cash. I might have to Venmo y'all fools.
Hey.
Oh, I got $1.
Perfect. Perfect. I
I'll
could
hook
buy
up-
some more bugs.
Don't spend that all at one
baby.
place.
Green, baby.
Yeah, I'm gonna hook y'all up with some more than this. So my crazy story y'all wanted to hear about what went down on January 6th at the Capitol.
Yes, sir.
That is a crazy story. It's one of my crazier ones. So, I did go to the Trump rally, January 6th, 2021, in Washington D.C. It was the coldest day of my life. I wore layers and everything, but man, it was so cold. It was so cold, and they kind of did us dirty. There had to be 1 million people there, had to be, and they had like 18 porta potties.
Yeah. That's good.
18 porta potties, bro. And so we had to get creative. We were all like banding together. And we were like, all right, it's my turn to pee. And everybody turned their backs and like, and we were
Make a circle.
yeah, we were like, yeah, we're going to help each other pee. And so Trump did his thing. He said his speech. It was good. It was like my third Trump rally that I've been to. And, he didn't say anything to like, he wasn't like, go down there and tear some shit up, He said, go down there peacefully. He said, go peacefully down there. So he did say that. So he didn't like encourage anybody to go down there and act stupid. The weird thing I remember is that, during that time, I was very involved in politics and I knew a lot of Trump supporters. I've been to a lot of events, a lot of rallies. And you kind of know what kind of people you're dealing with, And I remember some people at the rallies just stuck out like a sore thumb. I'm like, bro, there's something up with this dude. He don't even seem like
Looked like they were up to no good.
up to no good. Like you can tell, like with at store owners, I bet they know. Like when somebody comes in, they'll be like, this fool about to steal some Skittles, So there was some weird people, man. It was so weird. There was definitely some people there that were trying to stir some stuff up. So after the rally, we all walked about 1.5 miles down to the Capitol. And it was strange, man, because they had these like the metal barricades, You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
And I was like, why are these things even here? Because they were like, there would be like one here, and like 50 feet over there would be one, and then like 100 feet over there would be one. I'm like, why did y'all even put these here?
They're not blocking nothing.
They're not blocking. Not even. There's no way you were trying to block somebody from coming in here. It's like don't come in the house when you leave the door wide open. So we're standing outside, and we never walked up the first step of the Capitol. We just stood on the grass outside, and it was cool. Everybody, for the most part, everybody was really cool. They singing "Kumbaya" and all kind of stuff, And everybody was really cool, but there was this strange energy in the air. I couldn't put my finger on it. I'm like, man, there's something weird going on here. I've never felt that before. I wasn't familiar with it, but I knew that there was something like stirring in the atmosphere. I could feel this real strong sense of goodness, but I could feel a real strong sense of evil happening at the same time. And I didn't know what all that was all about. I found out later. So we heard that some people had broken in to the Capitol, and we're like, what? That's crazy.
So while you were out there, you heard that?
Yeah, you're hearing all kind of rumors and stuff
Yeah.
while you're on the ground outside. Dude, even if I wanted to get up to the Capitol door, you ever been in like a tight
Yeah.
club and you try to go to the bathroom.
Think about like St. Patrick's Day parade.
Yes. Yes. They would have been like that, trying to. I'm like, man, even if I wanted to get up there,
So how far were you from the actual Capitol?
Well, you said you was right at the bottom of
I
the
was
stairs,
I was
right?
outside. So if I wanted to get to the stairs, I was probably maybe 150 feet away from like the first step that you would take to make your way up to the building. So we just did our thing. We hung out there. We left. We got on the train, went back to our car, got in the car, went back to the hotel. That was it.
Yeah.
That was it. It was weird that we like.
Did you realize when you were there how serious it was?
No, bro. No.
At what point did you realize that? Like when you got home?
So that was January 6th. The next day was January 7th, my birthday. And we're driving back, and I'm not even on my phone because I'm driving. I get back home. I get on my social media that night. I'm like, bro, what the? I could.
It had just hit the
I
news.
was like,
wow.
I was like, wait, bro, what is going on? What is going on? And I'm looking at the news and what they're saying about what happened. I'm like, dude, that's not even close to how it went down. It was not like they like made it out to be some crazy riot and people were fighting. And
now,
doing-
could you tell from where you were that it was going down like that, or like that it was getting intensifying, or
No,
like
so what the media did is they, first of all, there, like I said, there were guys there that didn't belong,
Yeah.
right? They were there to stir up some stuff, and I heard from people on the train, like people on the train that actually went in the Capitol and they were there and like up closer to me. They said that there were people breaking down the doors and trying to break in, and other Trump supporters were like, "Dude, stop! Don't do that! Stop! Stop! What are you doing? Stop!" And they were trying to stop these people from doing it. But these people, I know that they were on the other side trying to make us look bad.
yeah,
And
like it
and
was like
worked.
set up to make
It was a setup, and it worked. They broke in the door. They opened the doors, and at some places, I heard that the cops just opened the doors and just let them walk in. And you can actually see videos of this happening. The cops just let them in. They just let them in. Like the barricades weren't holding nobody back. The cops were not holding anybody back. They were like, "Come on in, guys. Hey, check out the Capitol." You know?
there was like gunshots that happened, right?
There was one, supposedly this girl Ashley Babbitt got shot, and I actually talked to one of the guys that was there on the train. He said he was there and he saw it happen.
I saw a video.
But there was just a cop. There was a cop who was inside, and he just held the gun. It was so weird. I don't know if you've seen the video.
yeah, yeah.
But he's just pointing it, and he held it like for like a minute, and then all of a sudden he just shot for like no reason.
Yeah.
But
It's
so
got to be pretty scary though when there's like hundreds of people trying to break a door down, I guess.
if you watch the video, it didn't seem like it was scary at all.
Yeah.
You know, and he had no reason to shoot. They weren't trying to break in at that point in time. He just shot. Anyway, so we left. We got back. I'm on my social media. I'm like, bro, what is going on? I'm getting messages. I'm getting threats. People are like wanting me to die, bro.
Already like without any and nobody had
within
knowledge
24 hours. The news is saying that it was some crazy riot and Trump supporters were bro, it did not go down.
So did people
like that.
just find you on the internet? Or was this like local people?
Well, when I got back to the hotel room on January 6th, I made some posts that I was there and commented on my experience. I had no idea that was going to open the door for all these people to come and try to destroy me.
Yeah.
And so the next few days, January 7th, January 8th, and January 9th, all the places that I played at, I was just getting call after call, text after text. Hey man, sorry, but we can't have you play here. Hey man, sorry, but we're gonna have to cancel all your dates. Hey man, sorry. I'm just like, I'm just seeing my money go.
So they essentially
Same
tried to
kind of
cancel.
happened with your brother too, right?
Yeah, that
Like,
happened to
yeah.
him too.
Yeah.
Yeah, that happened to him too. There was, I don't want to name any names, but there was a local politician that band people together, like group people together, and told all her people to call all the places that I play at and get me fired. And they went on my social media and like looked at my schedule and they started calling all the places that I play at to get me fired.
Mm.
There's 2 places that didn't cancel me. 2. And that was Poseidon. They tried to cancel me. I said, look, man, you can cancel me, but you're going to catch hell from both sides if you do. They talked about it, and they're like, you know what? We're not going to cancel you. I'm like, bet. And the other place that did not cancel me was Tiki Hut.
Mm.
And I will forever be grateful to those 2 places. I don't care if I blow up and get famous with my music, which whatever. If I do, I'll still play those 2 places. But I lost 95% of my business in 2 days.
It's wild to think.
Yeah.
In 2 days.
That was
Okay.
kind of before cancel culture was really a thing too. I feel like.
Well, that was my second round of cancel culture. They came after me before when I was doing the protests about the mask stuff. They came at me before. That didn't hurt me too bad, but the January 6th thing,
Yeah.
that hurt. And then I had the FBI investigate me. They showed up to my brother's house, questioning him about me, because local people from here that weren't there went and told the FBI that I was inside the Capitol.
Damn.
Like, they came after me so hard, bro. It was so weird. It was the weirdest thing. Could you imagine, like,
the
waking up?
FBI.
Bro, could you imagine waking up in the morning and thousands of people, literally thousands of people, are after you?
So did people like find you in pictures or like? Because I saw some people were like, being like the Twitter police and like going and finding like pictures of who was there.
Yeah, they went through my Twitter. I messed up and made a tweet and didn't explain myself very well during the mask mandate stuff. I was calling these government. I was saying that they're acting like Nazis, right? Because this mask thing was stupid. It was some Nazi stuff, and I'm obviously very opposed to anything Nazi related. And people were like, "Oh, these people are just doing their jobs, right?" And so I made a post on Twitter, and I said, "This is your friendly reminder that Nazis were just doing their jobs."
And people took that out of context.
They
I'm sure.
took that. Boy, I had Jews coming after me, and like, "You Nazi sympathizer." I'm like, "Whoa, wait a second. I believe I am of Jewish lineage, so don't even come at me with that." And they were like saying I'm a Nazi, and that's not what I meant. I'm just saying it's wrong to do something that's wrong just because you're
Right.
doing your job. That's not an excuse.
Yeah.
That's what the Nazis did. Those soldiers and those police officers in Nazi Germany, they were just doing their job. They don't make it right. So they went through all my social media. They found, dude, I had people harassing me on Venmo.
Sending you $1 with some hate shit in there.
No, they were requesting, like, they like send me money requests for $3,000, like for storming in the Capitol, for being an insurrectionist. I had people hit me up on
Getting
Venmo,
creative
dude.
right there. Dude.
I'm like, yeah,
Right.
that's actually pretty. That you really thought outside the box on that one. But I had at least like probably 20 people harass me on Venmo. But it was wild.
So like
bro.
fast forward to now, has any of that like, still is it still hurting you or
Yeah,
Yeah?
it is. Even to this day. I mean, it hurt me because some places that I used to play at, I've never been back.
Yeah.
I've never been back. One of the booking agents that I used to use to book my private parties and stuff, they took me off of their website and they never put me back on. And I got a lot of work for them. I mean, there's no telling how much money it cost me. Probably cost my business probably hundreds of thousands of dollars.
Does that make you feel like you should keep your voice and like your opinion more like not as in the public or like
No, that was their goal.
yeah, for sure.
That was their goal. And I understand that it wasn't the people that did this. It was the spirits that were behind the people that were doing this, because people don't act like that, man. Like real people, they just don't act like that. They're not motivated to go after somebody and take away a father's ability to provide for his kids,
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
I got kids, and they just didn't care about that. They didn't care that my kids could go hungry because they don't like my presidential candidate that I chose to support.
Yeah.
Like that's
Over an opinion.
yeah.
Like,
And I didn't even do nothing. I didn't even go in the Capitol. I didn't break down a door. I didn't even go up the first step, And they just took this lie and they ran with it, and they just tried to destroy me normal people, I mean, people, like real people, the real natural person, they don't do that. That's the spirits that are behind them. So I don't hold it against them.
That's why I'm big on keeping a lot of my things to myself.
Yeah, but
You know?
I don't do that because if I do that, they win. That's their goal. That's the spirit's goal. That's the demon's goal, is to try to silence me, because I know that words have power.
Right.
There's power in words. When God created the universe, he said, "Let there be light," and his voice is the sound of his voice, and that vibration is what created everything. Your words have power, and the demons, they do not want you to use your words. They don't want you to use that power, because if you don't, they can do whatever they want. So they tried to silence me, but I will not be silenced.
That's right.
I will not be silenced. I have been guided to do other things since then, and I haven't really been involved in the political aspect. I'm using my voice in other ways now, but you're not gonna I will not accept the spirit of fear.
Yeah.
I will not let the spirit of fear motivate me in any way at all. So I didn't give into it. I stuck to my guns, and I know that at the end of the day, I'm going to be blessed because of it. And I hope that, I really just hope that everybody that came against me could just forget about it, and we go back to being friends, you know?
Yeah. Well, for everybody that's watching that wants to, learn more and follow you and keep up with everything that you got going on, let them know where they can find you.
So you can find me on TikTok, at Whitley Deputy. If you want to follow my music, I'm on Instagram at Whitley Deputy. My Facebook is Whitley Deputy Band. You can follow me there. I do have a YouTube channel that I started. It's called Whitley Deputy Ministries, so you can look that up if you're looking for any information on the spiritual. And also, if you want to make any donations, you want to send your boy some love, it's Whitley Deputy on Venmo and Cash App. So
Now, do you have music out on all platforms at all?
not yet. I'm working on
Album
that.
coming soon.
Yeah, album coming soon.
That's
Soon as
right.
ASCAP gets off their bullshit.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
It's weird, but I'm gonna drop it this year. This year,
Awesome.
for sure.
Well, we appreciate you coming, man.
Absolutely.
Definitely.
Thanks
It
for
was
having
good.
me.
A lot.
And if I can ever do anything for you guys, man, whatever, I'm down to come back.
Awesome, bro. I appreciate it, man.
Thank you.
All right, and we're going to cut to a live performance from Campfire Tyler.
I'm Campfire Tyler. This song's called Reflections and Cold Lemonade. Spending time sitting in the shade, sipping no cold lemonade. Ain't no better way to spend the day than sipping no cold lemonade. I like sitting in my yard, watching squirrels run up the trees. Life ain't gotta be so hard, it should be more like a shopping spree. I'm passing hours playing music for the flowers and the honeybees. It's in the upper 70s with a breeze so heavenly. I tried to take a nap, but the sativa got the best of me. I got lots of plans, trying to execute them cleverly. Perfect's an illusion, I'm more focused on my destiny. Perfect's an illusion, I'm more focused on my destiny. Spending time sitting in the shade, sipping no cold lemonade. Lemonade. Ain't no better way to spend your day than sipping no cold lemonade. This day's amazing, the weather is so gorgeous. Everything's just right, that's where the Goldilocks is porridge. You can hate on me, I just dismiss it or ignore it. But I'm sleeping like a baby and my neighbors hear me snoring. Try to block my shine, you can't block me when I'm beaming. Gym memberships, trying to exercise my demons. Waited till the fall just to do some spring cleaning. Everything changes and I learn that from the seasons.
We on demon time, anytime we by the slide, nigga. Don't you try to hide when we on your side. Them hollers hit your spine, and if I catch you lacking, it might be your fucking time. I pray to God you stay up, 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 stay up.